Welcome to our life on the road in China. These are our friends. So many lorries on this big main road we're on now, and they just seem to be much bigger than any other lorries we've ever come across. So our first night in China was a bit of a rough one. This is where we've woken up this morning, up on this big open plain. Pretty much felt like we were going to get blown away last night, and then the rain came later on, and it was all a bit brutal, not what we're used to. It's quite daunting coming to a country where you don't have the foggiest what any of their symbols or words means. Can't actually pedal the bike at the moment because we're going well over our top speed. We're not meant to be on these roads technically, but we've been past lots of policemen. They don't seem too fussed, so we're just going to crack on. Landscapes are just absolutely vast. The roads are vast. You just feel like a tiny little ant. I don't know how we're going to get across this country. It's just done 170 kilometres. The roads here are insane. They're so quick. It's like being on a Formula 1 racing track. So despite only 5 hours of cycling, we've done 170 kilometres. It's pretty good. Yeah, we're going to be sleeping under here tonight and hoping we don't get too wet. Our plans to camp up here last night went horribly awry when, first of all, the rain started coming in, and then this huge gale force wind eventually blew us off here, off our pedestal. We managed to get our tent up in the rain and wind down a hill somewhere there, but all night the wind was just ridiculous. It was like the tent was about to fly away most of the time. There's pretty big distances between towns and shops and so on out here, so I have to track down our water from various nefarious sources like this one. Just whack the tap on. There she goes. Luckily we got our UV filter. Go for the gas mask. Too much petrol in this air. You can taste the sulphur coming out of these guys' exhausts. It's not particularly nice. Northwest China certainly isn't a thing of beauty out here, and it's little wonder we haven't seen any tourists or Westerners at all in the week that we've been here. But it certainly is industrial. On the huge, great big freight lorries that keep winging their way past our ears, to this ginormous wind farm out to our right, which just stretches as far as the eye can see. Just staggering. The scale of some of their engineering and infrastructure that they've built here, clearly, in the last 10 years. Literally cycling through a wind tunnel at the moment. Thankfully, the wind is coming from behind us. It's like a hairdryer, massive hairdryer, just blowing us along at crazy speeds. This is us descending into the bowels of the earth, dropping down 1,000 metres over the next 80 kilometres through this gorge. It's going to take us down to the Turpan Depression, which at 150 metres below sea level is one of the lowest and hottest points on the planet. Pretty terrifying, cycling through this wind farm. Seriously exposed out here. Crosswinds are frightening. issues we're dealing with out here on these Chinese roads. Look at the state of this thing. When these come motoring past you, certainly kick up a fair bit of turbulence. On 1 o'clock on a sunny August day, which apparently is the best time to visit one of the hottest places in the world. Yeah, it's luckily we've been pre-baked for the last few months, otherwise this would be unbearable. Just climbing up this gorge out of the Turpan Depression, and it is dangerously hot. The wind's disappeared in this canyon, and you can feel the heat for real now. It's just ridiculous. You just got to make sure you keep drinking. The key sign is when you feel the back of your throat dry, it means you're a long way down on hydration levels. This is our favourite sign in China. It's also the only one we understand. Just cruising around the town of Shanshan? Shanshan. Pretty dark now. I've been looking for a place to camp, some grassy verge, but the police caught sight of us. And so, very friendly. But due to the troubles in Xinjiang at the moment, they say we've got to stay in a guest house or a hotel. I think there's a very good reason why we've been 8 days in China, not seen a single other traveller. This is probably it. Going through a bit of a dry spell at the moment. The petrol station, City Bridge to Gap, the 100 kilometres between two towns, is shut down, which means we've had no food, no water, and no shelter in the mid-afternoon sun. So we're just ploughing on to try and make the next town at the moment. Both pretty much out of water. Mouths getting pretty fluffy. It's been quite a dry day today. Cold water. Feels like we've accidentally cycled onto the surface of the moon out here. The landscape is insane. It's just jagged and rugged, just incredibly inhospitable. We're just off the main road looking for a place to camp. Can't really see any options, to be honest, around here. It's pretty busy. We're in an old sort of mining quarry pit site here, and we just found this derelict house which we aimed for because we thought that might be a nice place to stay. No tents required. I think sheer number of beer bottles on the outside are a bit of a clue as to what the inside's like. I wouldn't be surprised if I came across a dead body or something worse. It's pretty grim. We're just riding the crest of this wave on this massive sandstorm. It's blowing us south now. The wind is everything out here for us. It's so exposed. If it's blowing the wrong way, you're screwed. But when it's with you, you've got to massively take advantage of it. That's what we've done. We were just resting, having a little slumber. We noticed this storm coming in, and now we've leapt to it. It's time to eat up some road. It's taken us 110 days, but we've just come to the halfway point in our trip. We've gone over 50% of the way from London to Miami. It just feels amazing. Done 11,700 kilometers, and we've done it in about 110 days. So it's just it's pretty cool, really. Like you set out at the beginning of the trip with this master plan of this massive task, challenge, and doesn't really seem possible, and somehow you kind of chip away at it day at a time, and